bring in Mom Miriam. So Miriam shows up to brunch and grabs a mimosa. Is like, oh well, I'm just going to remove curse. And Odella's like, no, don't, and like counterspelled her. And Miriam's like, the fuck? And then Odella did it again, and Miriam's like, I can do this all day. And so eventually Odella stopped. And everybody remembers. And then Leo was like, what the fuck? And then like stormed out. And Roswin and Odella talked for a really long time about trust and shit. And they're like, why didn't you tell me? Everything's betrayed. Everything's awful. And then Odella's like, I don't care. Like, whatever. We have a job to do. Yeah. And then left. And so that was like super sassy. And then Miriam tells Roswin to have faith and do what she gotta do, is what my bullet point says. And then Odella wanders out into the streets of Waterdeep and like calls her awful patron, who I imagine is that guy from the Frog Prince, like in the middle of Waterdeep, and she's like, oh, what did I do? And he's like, yeah, that didn't go well. And she's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And he's like, we could turn Leo into a zombie or whatever. And she's like, great. And then that was that conversation.
I feel like things are being misremembered.
I don't know.
I think this is Leo's perspective, not Celeste. Leo and Celeste's perspective on what happened.
The bard is telling the story.
That's true.
So true. Leo freaked out, and then he went and bought 12 mind shielding potions. Apparently, and then what else did I do? Yeah, he bought 12 mind shielding potions, and then goes back to brunch after sending Wingman to make sure Odella isn't there. And he's like crying and walks in holding a bag full of potions. It's like, oh my god. And Miriam is like, what the fuck? And he's like, help me. So she put Death Ward on all of us, and then she beseeched Selune on Leo's behalf for a boon or something. So, and Leo got a 69, and now has a physical amulet thing that's like a mysterious boon that may come into play from Selune. And then Roswin also gave Leo a present, which was a scabbard with a bunch of different poisons on it, which was super cool, and cheered Leo up. And then we're like, okay, fine, we should go now, and we have to go back to the council because we have big shit to do. And Odella was there in her like extra chair, being like, oh hi, I'm an edgelord. And then everybody's like, okay. And then we did the big council planning, which was basically where we listed all of the factions that we had and like kind of assessed all the enemy forces they had, and we actually assigned where our troops were going to go in the final confrontation. So we decided where we're sending our dragons, where we're sending the Arcane Brotherhood, and that's a whole long list that I didn't write down, but that's what happened last time. Sorry, that was rough, y'all.
All right, so I have that list here.
Oh, look,
so does Laura. So you sent dragons versus dragons. The Arcane Brotherhood and Leo's dad also going to fight dragons. You sent the Order of the Gauntlet to deal with the devils from Avernus. You sent the Treants to fight the giants, the Lord's Alliance to fight the cultists, the Harpers to fight the evil mercenaries. Looks like this is, I think, the Zentarum Assassins to take out the Red Wizards. And you sent your Red Wizards that you have to take on, Wrath Modar. And you sent your random group of adventurers comprised of people that you've met in Farida, Mir, Phoenix, Whistler, and Lux to take on the leaders of the cult. And you guys are going to take on Severin himself. So that was sort of the planning session of what you were going to do. And now begins literally, but I mean, you guys could always backpedal here, but the theoretical point of no return. We are in page, not that you guys need to know this, but 79 of 88 of the whole book. So less than 10 pages in the entire book will comprise, theoretically, the rest of the majority of this campaign. There will be stuff that I have that we're doing after that's not in the book, but we're there. Like, this is it. I have a few bullet points, And half of these pages are maps, so most of it's all happening. So, you have assigned your forces as you saw fit. You now are heading into what the book describes as the climactic finale of Rise of Tiamat. At which point, you should be level 14 or 15, of which you are. So we're good in that respect. Balanced per the book. So you guys already heard some information from the Harpers kind of giving you a laydown of things are in motion now. Treasure has been gathered for Tiamat. The armies have amassed at the Well of Dragons for protection for her return to guarantee that's happening. Hundreds of prisoners have been captured by the Horde of the Dragon, or the Cult of the Dragon, to be sacrificed, their souls to bring forth Tiamat into this world. And a temple has risen in the caldera that is the Well of Dragons, and we've that's where the assumption is Severin is contained in this temple, which is newly risen. So you have all of your forces, and their whole thoughts are, we're gonna take these people on essentially head on. We're rushing in. We've got all of our forces. We're gonna meet them on the field of battle. And in the flurry and distraction and all the craziness, you and your strike team of you guys are going to sneak in and try to cut the head off the snake to maybe stop all of that from happening. And then, less casualties, the better kind of a scenario. Now, as you guys are you've made your final battle plans, they tell you, it's not too far away, but the Arcane Brotherhood will tell you guys can all go now and sort of just roll out en masse in a big convoy and head out that way, if that's the option that you want. They said that flying would likely be problematic due to the amount of hundreds, they're saying, hundreds of chromatic dragons circling the Well of Dragons. At which point you guys can all hear now, sort of almost intensifying the time for action. The Drakhorn, which you had heard once before, was sounded once, and that was it. It is now blaring in a constant, it is ever, from now on, you just hear the Drakhorn blowing, and it's just now a function of the world you live in. So sort of a distant, foreboding sound of doom that is there constantly happening. So the Arcane Brotherhood, again, gives you the option we can have everybody roll in on foot now. It's going to take us a couple days or a day to get there at least from Waterdeep. Or they can, all of them burn basically all of their 7th level spells or greater to teleport you all to the field of battle immediately, but doing so, they will be drained of some high-level magical capabilities. What is your thoughts? You guys have an idea of, you've been fighting the Cult of the Dragon more. The council basically defers to you at this point. What would you like to do? What do you think is the best call? No pressure, guys.
Yeah. Do we know what the geographical situation of where this temple is? Do we know if there are trees nearby, for example, for a Roswin walk? Or do we know, is there any kind of cover or anything we can work with?
So, little remains in the territory surrounding the Well of Dragons. The constant drone of the Drakhorn has forced all local animals to flee. There are a handful of villages in the area that are blood-stained ghost towns, and every farmstead is a charred ruin. And the Cult of the Dragon the Well of Dragons, is a caldera, right? So, for those of you not geologically inclined, that is a volcano where the top has kind of fallen out below. And so if you imagine imagine what you picture as a volcano and then like cut the top off. Right? So it's kind of all the magma has built up and then sort of imploded down in. Usually it's filled with water in a lot of senses. Not the case here, but basically, yeah, a mountain with a depression inward, and somewhere inside that is where the temple has kind of risen up.
Oh, so it's like in the crater of
basically
the mountain. Okay.
Yep. And it is primarily charred wasteland. Again, there are some towns and things like little tiny village ghost towns, but not enough for you to sneak your whole forces through. Like, well, everybody run to this village and then hide. And then we'll run to this village and hide. It's not Scooby-Doo. You can't do that. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we should definitely go ahead of everybody. So since we're doing the strike.
You guys, well, another thing is you guys have never been there.
Yeah.
So Roswin doesn't know any trees there at the moment to make that call. They do tell you that day and night constantly chromatic dragons are patrolling the skies. So they are so whenever it's basically when it's go time, it's gonna have to be go time, and we are sending our guys in to like stop the airstrike basically before it happens, to engage each other in the air to let the ground troops get in. Again, spells will be flying, so who knows. They do say that, again, you guys would have to kind of figure this out yourself once you actually arrive, but there is the potential for there to be, depending when you get closer, right, it is a mountainous area. There may be ravines and crags you can weasel your way through, and again, they're spies. That the one spy who made it back was focused more on the internal workings. There may be some wooded areas around that have not burnt down. Most of the farmland is gone because it was a raid to get rid of all the people. There may be patches of trees or sparse little woodland areas around that you may be able to find, which may provide some cover, potential teleportation as a thing, but you have never seen any of this, and most of the council and the people, the troops you have brought in are from elsewhere. Like, they're here and ready to support you, but they're not there. They don't know this. Like, the Harpers had a few spies, but really only one of them made it back.
It's hard to say. I feel like obviously either way there's gonna be a lot of loss, because either they're not gonna have the same firepower that they would, or B, if they've got airborne dragons all over the place, if they see people running in, it's gonna...
Yeah, they're gonna have to go miles.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to fight for like miles to get up to the point, because they're gonna be spotted from very far away.
So, is there anything we can do to disguise ourselves as cultists, or perhaps disguise ourselves as a dragon? What's your wild shape situation, Razwin?
Not that good.
Dragons aren't animals.
Something close.
Who wants to be an iguana?
Komodo dragon.
I mean, I think I can dead to rights look like Rathmodar and sound like him too.
That's the thing you could definitely do. You've seen him, you've even fought him before, so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to make ourselves... We've seen cultists like a million times, and probably we've killed a bunch of cultists, so we have their armor.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be...
killed a bunch of them. So we have armor here.
The general feeling from the council is they're not too worried about 4 people getting in. Like, they think that in the tumultuous chaos of a war, 4 people could probably slip by unnoticed. I mean, unless, if you're trying to be hidden, you could probably make it in. It's hard to keep track of 4 people in an army of thousands. Also, Odella, somewhere in the course of this, you get a trinket.
Oh, yay. My trinkets usually are not found. They're just received.
Oh, no. This is you find a doll.
Oh, great.
A changeling doll, so you can kidnap a sleeping baby for your otherworldly patron.
Oh, great. Cool. He loves babies.
But only you know its purpose.
Okay. I put it in my bag.
We'll say you don't find it. We'll say it just appears there and you know that it's there.
Okay. I'll keep it right up here. What if I honestly think that losing the spells is better than having to fight for like miles to gain ground, you know?
Yeah. And it's not even like they can use illusion magic to help them through it because dragons have true sight.
Right. So what if we went ahead, like what if we were like, hey, send us so we can scout out maybe what our plan of attack is, not in chaos, and like give us like 10 minutes or something, and then you come in, and then just so we have like a little bit of time to like scout things out. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm fine. Like I said, that sounds good to me. I think either way is going to be shitty. So
I mean, I think the ultimate thing is like we have to stop them now, and the only way to get an army now is with magic. So I don't understand what the question is here. Right?
Yeah.
Unless there's some other way, like I don't know, can the Emerald Enclave call on like 1 million cheetahs so we can ride on them?
Cheetahs aren't known for their stamina.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I guess I just don't understand what the other option might be.
Man, where are the elephants? I mean, we could have
where
had...
are the elephants?
But getting the elephants there is also going to take so fucking long.
Oh,
there's no other option then.
And
like,
if they die, then I'll have to think about them going back to the spot where all their fallen friends died for years to come, and I can't deal with that.
You know what? Like, call Baldur's Gate. Get all of the Waterdeep Candlekeep, or get them all. Get all the Candlekeep people here. Just get them all here. And
so here's basically here. I'll let me try to maybe spin this another way. Okay. So the way this could go right now is you're basically, I presented you with your two options, but let me say it in a different way. So your options would be you roll out en masse like we talked about, and imagine it more like Return of the King, right? The end battle and Return of the King. They're all in an army, and like Aragorn goes running forward, and then everybody, and like they're gonna run over a long open plain before they meet the enemy forces, right? A big open battle over open terrain. You can have that. Again, you've got a long way to go to get through the gates of Mordor to the Well of Dragons. Or you can bamf in theoretically surprising everyone, and the same thing will happen, but you'll have the benefit of a pseudo-surprise, is sort of what you've got. The cool epic battle of, riding up and down the front lines, telling the cool story about, like, today the world of Faerun may fall, but it's not this day, blah, blah, blah. Tiamat
Why are you taking this away from me, Ted?
I'm not. I'm giving you that as an option. I'm trying to paint this picture for you.
I know.
So that's a thing you can do. Those are basically what you're looking at. The epic battle. I'm not gonna make it like it's gonna be a fight to get to where you need to go, but like I'll let the enemy do that whole like they're gonna circle and kind of hang out over there till the fight starts for the mechanics piece of it.
Though, point in fact, we know there is a traitor on the council, so they're gonna know we're coming. I don't think we're gonna get a surprise.
Well, the longer you spend thinking about it, the faster that message can make its way there.
Let's just bamf in.
Yeah.
That's us. That's our style is, hello, motherfucker.
Preferably with sparkles.
I'm just here to fight dragons. I've been hanging with y'all for about a week now. And like
maybe two.
I feel like it's yeah, I think it's gotta be at least 2 to 3 weeks at this point.
2 max.
Like a lifetime of friendship.
I mean, you were dead for 4 of them, but that's besides the point. Or for 2 of them, but whatever, it's fine.
Recovering from death.
Yeah, recovering. That's right, recovering for 4 days. Anyway, okay. So you make that decision, and they basically will point on the map like here is the well, the frontline forces. Is this where we're going in? Like right to this spot here? Like as close to the well as possible? Or do we want to be back a little bit?
Well, I think the main goal should be freeing the slaves because they all need to be sacrificed for Tiamat. So we need to get there and destroy that operation immediately because that's probably going to be the biggest determinant to actually popping off this ritual. Like carrying out treasure is going to take forever, so we can't do anything about that. But if we prevent those lives from being lost, maybe we stand a chance. How do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so basically everybody in a en masse gather outside. You guys kind of walk with the council and the people to the outside of the gates of Waterdeep, and you can see for the first time, really, it's just all been theorized and discussed, but you can now see basically the army that you guys have put together right here. You see just hundreds of fully mailed troops repping the Order of the Gauntlet. We're talking your typical knights, some on horseback with lances, others, with sword and shield and ready to go. You can see the slew of kind of rangers and in all the browns and greens of the forest mixed with the people who begin to transform into their various lycanthropic forms. A lot of bears here, a few tigers. You can see some treants here. My bad. Here amongst the group as well. Not a ton, but enough, right? You can count on a quick glance at least 50 of them here. In just a drove of emo and blackness, a whole bunch of Zentarum assassins all there. Stereotypical short bows, dual daggers. They're not trying to impress anybody, that's just who they are. Then you see the very kind of pomp and circumstance, noble Lord's Alliance. These are kind of house guards and things of that nature. You can see flying around in the sky you see at least 14 metallic dragons, plus James is also there. He's not flying, he's there on the ground. He comes and meets... Well, we'll get to that. But he's walking his way over towards you.
So are we outside of Waterdeep?
Yeah, this is your mass. You're seeing now your army that you have.
Okay.
And you can see the probably 100, maybe more of the kind of robed mages, your Arcane Brotherhood that you've brought with you here. You see maybe a contingent of about 25 red wizards, and they're kind of like cordoned off to the side, and everyone's kind of not sure how they feel about them, especially because some of them do have some undead minions with them. There's a couple zombies, maybe a white or two, and people are like, we acknowledge that you're here and thank you for your assistance, but also please stand over there.
The outcasts who eat lunch outside.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
The smelly kids.
Yeah. Well, quite literally in some cases.
Yeah.
And then you also see, you can see kind of banding together, checking each other's armor, stretching. You can see your adventuring group here in Farida. So there is a sort of reddish tan colored skin tiefling with swept back horns, one silver eye, one gold eye. It has a dagger and a pretty badass looking scepter with a red jewel on it. It's got a sweet necklace. You see a cat, tabaxi here, she's got sort of a rapier that's floating nearby, and you watch as sort of a wrist bracelet transforms into a short bow. You see another bard, but this one has a guitar that also looks like it's a battle axe and is wearing a unicorn, like the really cheesy unicorn masks. You know what I'm talking about in the real world, one of those. A chick that looks like, if you know who Red Sonja is, Red Sonja, typical barbarian, chainmail bikini, big badass, great sword, long flowing red hair. And a dude who looks like Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing with the hat, the leather trench coat, the badass crossbow with the repeating drum on it.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, well, he has a very tragic backstory.
Yeah, it was so sad.
Yeah, they had to kill his family for him because they were turned into vampires.
But he's still hot.
Oh yeah, there's no doubting that. And if anything, he's gotten more rugged in the time.
The ooh baby stands.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You want to be a rebound so hard.
Hey, I'm about to die.
Yeah, and so all of the people, and you can see, and also your council members are kind of going over and meeting with sort of heads of the military forces here. But you can see you have an army easily of thousands here. And it's just sort of almost awe-inspiring to look out and see, like, if it wasn't for the efforts of you and your group, most, if not all of these people would not be here in one cohesive unit. You did this. Were the scenario different, and this were not something where a need for stealth and an undercover mission would be, you could potentially negotiate yourselves to be the commanders of leading this force on the front lines. This could be you, but you have a more important mission that requires slightly more finesse. Odella, you have a charge. I should need to add that to you because that was added via bits and not dollars. So Odella, you have 10.
Yeah.
That is an ultimate in the waiting.
Oh man, y'all start shelling out some cash. We need it.
I don't know if those charge counts are right either. That's what was there for last time, so I'm leaving it. So, we're gonna say yes. Well, it's been like 3 weeks since we played, and I haven't touched it, so it should be fine. Yeah, it should be good. So, as this is all happening, Leo, you see a certain familiar face make his way over towards you amidst all of this, and you can hear, there's a lot of different groups are doing different things. People are kind of going at you. There's a lot of hyping people up on the Order of the Gauntlet, like trying to get themselves all like pumped up, like getting ready, necks cracking, and all the Arcane Brotherhood are sort of beginning to kind of move out and circle around everybody, and you can see them starting. I'm gonna make their magic look like Doctor Strange magic because that looks cooler. Right, so they're all like, and they're starting to spin a big teleportation circle to get you guys.
Making lots of triangles.
Yeah, lots of triangles, lots of sling ringing happening right now to teleport you guys over to the Well of Dragons. But it takes time, long enough for your dad to come over and have a conversation with you.
I think when. Oh wait. People aren't supposed to know. I think Leo, is doing that. He's like so excited, and then he's like going for a hug, and then he's like, oh yeah, okay, like this is chill.
Like you do that, and then like you're like and he comes over, he just gives you a big hug.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he comes in and crushes you in a big hug.
My cute, beautiful dad to my chest.
Yeah, he gives you a big hug back, and he kind of does that whole like pulls you back, but like still like at arm's length, still has his hands on your shoulders. And he's just sort of like looking, up and down at his son, and he says,
"Is he in a he form right now?"
He is in a he form at the moment.
Got it.
And he looks at you and he says,
Aladdin's dad.
Aladdin's dad. Yep. Yeah. Aladdin. Picture Aladdin's dad. But with like
constantly,
like a literal electrifying air to him, like there's a hair on your stands up, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and he says, we're here, it's happening. And he looks out and he gestures out to the mass group behind you, and he says, you and your friends did this. This is an army the likes of which the realms hasn't seen in quite a long time, if ever. This is impressive, and I just want you to know that whatever happens today, I'm proud of you.
I think James can definitely tell that the spark like has been like diminished in Leo at this point with everything that's happened. Leo just sort of grimly like nods and like looks over, and Yeah, I hope it's enough.
And he says, I hope so too, but from what it looks like, you've brought together some of the most powerful minds and strength of arms the realms has seen. It takes a lot to pull together this many dragons in one place, to set aside the hordes that they've built to come and fight other dragons. And that's no easy task. Let alone getting the Red Wizards, apparently, to show up to fight alongside the Order of the Gauntlet, the Arcane Brotherhood, the Zentarum. This is unheard of. Most of these forces would not as much look at the other, and here they are all working under the same banner for the betterment of the realms. And I know that you and your friends are in no small part the reason why. And this is a victory in and of itself right here. And whatever we do today, it's only better for the efforts you and your team have put together.
Well, I do take comfort in knowing that they're going to write some bitchin' songs about today if we get through this. Or even if we don't.
And he says, are you all right, though? You seem... Something seems different.
I guess the fact that this and what we're about to do here is the only thing that makes sense in my life right now. I don't know. I expected something different, something I don't know. We're gonna get this done and see what tomorrow brings.
And he says that's probably not a bad way to look at this. There's a lot going on. You've got a lot on your mind. Probably best to just focus on the task at hand.
Yeah.
And he says, and if you want to talk when this is all over, my ears are always open.
Leo claps him on the shoulder a little too hard and is like, you better be there at the end of this. I don't know, I've lost companions before, and I guess I've never, all of a sudden I have so much to lose.
And he goes, that's kind of how the business that you're in, that's how this goes. It's a lot easier to be an adventurer when you don't have any attachments. And you're just out there doing what you're doing because you like it, because you like the work, because you're living for the thrill of the moment, maybe dying tomorrow. But when there's people involved that you care about, that changes everything. Yeah. Believe me, I was living my life the way I had been, and then I heard that you were a part of it, and that changed a lot.
I think I was on that same path.
Well, this is like, I'm not gonna knock it, right? It's fun. It's a good time. But...
Yeah. Yeah. No. Just stay alive out there. Don't be a hero, Dad. You're gonna squeeze him.
And he says, I feel like I should tell you the same thing, but I have a feeling you're not going to listen to me.
You know me. I'm a simple man. What you see is what you get. Big damn hero.
Well. And he kind of like looks over and you can see the Arcane Brotherhood's magic has started to accelerate. And he says, I think it's gonna be... I think it's about that time.
I just want to pull him close again and like put my forehead against his forehead and like, stay like that for a minute.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the other side. Well, I will owe you the best whiskey in Waterdeep. And believe you me, I know the tavern that has it, and we will get it for free again. You'll see.
He says, "All right, well, you'll have to negotiate me in."
We'll figure it out.
All right.
The heroes of all of Faerun think we'll be able to figure it out.
Fair enough. Well, here goes. And you watch as he says that the magic sort of kind of the portal opens and you guys are all sort of shunted through the ground and then brought up, and you can see now this landscape, this sort of, it's gotta be doom and gloom, right? The Drakhorn, you can see all the dragons in the air sort of falter for a little bit. Your dad kind of takes it back a little bit. Even Pygot's a little like weirded out by it. As what was a droning sense in the background now is significantly louder as you are at the source of the Drakhorns. Clearly it's here. You can tell just from the intensity here. And it's dark, black, gray clouds everywhere because it's doom and gloom. Lightning striking all around, and as the lightning strikes, you can see the like swirling mass of hundreds of chromatic dragons in the sky. It's almost hard to tell where the clouds and the wind end and what's actually that versus undulating dragon forms in the sky. And you guys can see there are sporadic between, you guys sort of drop maybe, I don't know, maybe a mile, maybe 2 miles out from the base of the caldera. So there are forces and troops around, and there is sort of mismatched houses and little sparse areas of woodland here. So there is area for certain people could duck off to get cover if you wanted to do that. And then, yeah, you can see, let's see. Caldera of a long-dead volcano rises from an ashen plain ahead. Along the cinder cone's steeply sloped sides, thousands of other creatures mill about, lining up into ordered infantry ranks. In the air above, chromatic dragons shriek like a flock of immense crows, awaiting, well, they don't realize as if you had marched up, I was gonna say. But, looks like a Rid got another charge. Yep. So we'll add one over to Rid here.
Yay, thank you.
Add that there. So the charge counts are accurate, guys. So if you do donate with the real world monies and put hashtag whatever the person's name is, you can see next to that, it'll bump the charge bar up. If not, I can go in and manually do it like I have been. So they basically, you can see like a sort of rolling wave of confusion from all of these forces who were like set in like regimented, like, we know it's coming, where's it gonna come from? And then like just hundreds to thousands of troops just appear right there, and like the army is like, people are like, you hear shouts of different things in Draconic. All of the dragons start to come aware of what's going on. You watch as all of your dragons take off to go meet, and there are all of these dragons, but it seems like there is a large mixture of age groups of these dragons. Yours, on your end, are more on the much more older side of dragons. There's far fewer, but significantly more mature.
So better. We have the better dragons.
But better isn't always the best scenario when it's a numbers game.
I don't know. We're a D&D group of 4, and we've like saved the world. So
it's not over yet. Anyway, yeah. So your dragons sort of take off to flight into the sky there, and you watch as your dad sort of smiles and winks to you, Leo. And you watch as the form of James disappears, and there's like a shock and awe from everyone around as this platinum song dragon takes off in an absolute, because I can do this, it is like it is like a metal like guitar riff as he like takes off, and lightning strikes down as he zips off to join the other dragons in the sky.
So cool.
I think I saw there was a charge donated. I think it went to who it was supposed to go to, but either way, that happened. And yeah, he takes off, and then you see like all of your troops, like it starts like that slow kind of like roll out where they're starting to like pick up speed, and then it just sort of just begins to go, and you see the forces start to come down in waves off of the caldera, and there's about a mile difference between you and them, and everybody's kind of running to meet in the middle, and you can watch that any of your sort of lycanthropes that hadn't transform now into their animal forms and start bounding on all fours amongst all of the rangers and elves that are running through. You can see now, as they're moving, several of these rangers are climbing up onto the backs of the treants, drawing arrows. Those with significantly improved range, i.e. sharpshooter feet, start lobbing arrows as they start to get closer. Cavalry is sort of leading the charge of the Order of the Gauntlet. And the Zentarum are just like, we're just going to go off this way, way over here, and we're going to find another path through. And you can see now, like, most of the Arcane Brotherhood have taken to the skies via fly spells or otherwise. And you can see, crackling of lightning and fire drawing as everybody's kind of moving off in groups. And you can see your adventuring team is also they're sort of heading off in a sideways direction. Whether it be, you can see there are, I'm going to throw some trees in there because she has them and we never really got to use them. You watch the tabaxi sort of, because I gave her them, sort of arms out in a sort of this-ish motion, and a web sort of shoots out from it, sticks to the trees and begins to swing, because I gave her web shooters, so that's the thing. So she starts to swing, and as this other group is going, and you see that as, a large bulk of these groups come down to take on that group, the Red Sonja-esque barbarian creature transforms into a gold dragon to help just mow them all down with fire. Zoned out, who was that to? Because I saw it said, please don't die. Oh, it was to Rid. Okay. Alright, we can add that. So I think you're at 8 now, Renee.
Heck yeah.
So it is just a massive chaos of everyone that you've seen. You can see, now we'll say as this is all happening, you guys have to figure out what your strategy is, how you got to get to the base and find a way in. Just climbing up the outside doesn't really seem like a good call because you're visible the whole way. But it also doesn't seem practical for everybody to go up and over the top. There's probably another way in somewhere along the base of this thing. And you guys can all, actually, probably just Roswin. You can make me a nature check.
That is a 23.
Okay, so just in your being a druid and understanding nature to the degree that you do, you would know that the way sort of volcanoes are formed naturally, the way the sort of magma and lava flows underneath sort of lends itself to tubular-like structures, aptly called lava tubes, that run their way throughout kind of almost in a spider-like fashion underneath a volcano, and some of those make their way potentially out to the side where lava will break through the side as the stuff's spewing out over the top. So if there's a potential to find those, you may find natural pathways leading yourself inside from somewhere around the base.
Okay. Do I see anything like that like any enemies are like coming through or that are just like visible?
Make me a perception check.
That's a 20, not natural.
Yeah, I will say that sure, you can, now that you're kind of keened in to looking for that, yes, you can see you see at least in one spot, there may be multiple, but you happen to key in on one where you can see some forces starting to make their way out. It's mostly the devils coming out from inside the volcano, kind of coming out in force. You see various ones with crazy spiked beard, and some wings take off and take flight. And you can kind of see where they're coming out from. So you have a keen eye on this. As you're watching, surveying the scenario, you can see forces starting to clash together, and you see people that are now embroiled in battle here. All right, you've got you can see Dylan Winterhound in there fighting with a great sword, and his wolf is taking things down. As Sir Esteval has his green dragon cane there that he pulls a sword out from the cane, and it's just everyone is embroiled in all of this fight. Someone looks like they're going to fall down, and you see Ryan Nightshade backstab somebody twice and then roll off and disappear into the shadows. Everything is kind of all in almost a shadowy light due to the amount of cloud cover you have here. And you can just see plumes of different elemental energies just throughout the sky, lighting things up as all the dragons are fighting. Smartly enough, they're dragons, right? So they're not fire on fire. They're all choosing to fight different groups because it makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just utter chaos. This is your moment to try to sneak in if that's what you're going to try to do.
Yeah. So like we said, first off, are the devils that are coming out of there, are they dressed up in any particular way, or are they just I'm a devil?
Yeah, you don't see any particular livery that they're wearing. They're just kind of doing their devil thing.
Okay. Then I'm thinking that I'm gonna just indicate to everybody that I see an opening, and look to all of them. Do we want to sneak? I can do pass without a trace, but I don't really think that that's gonna do much with all this shit going down.
I will say, no, never mind. Go ahead. My
Okay.
bad. I was reading something, but that was to not get seen by the dragons, and the dragons are kind of busy, so not to worry.
Okay.
Aw.
Cool.
I can always sneak.
Okay. I can always be an animal.
I say we just normal sneak. I don't
Just as
think.
ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think we need to be too crazy about it if there's an opening.
You do feel clearly everyone is a little bit distracted. So, you may have the potential to to use that to your advantage mechanically in stealth checks.
Okay. Well then, I guess let's be anti-Belladonnas and sneak.
Weird. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but
and we can kind of
before.
For 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I was really good while doing it.
Yeah, we were amazing.
I just don't want to discount how good we looked that one time we snuck around.
That's fair. That is fair. All right, then everybody can make me stealth checks with advantage.
Woo!
Yay, normal.
Yeah. Enjoy that, Leo.
Oh, nice.
I shall.
I got a 20 not natural. I'm gonna run to bio break really quick.
At 21.
Okay.
Okay. 14.
Renee?
28.
Okay, yeah. So pretty good, all things considered. Even you guys are able to sort of carry Leo's unstealthiness with your
Real slow.
Yeah. You guys kind of are able to make your way across, ducking between what houses and things you can find to sort of make your way to the side of one of these of the mountain where Roswin had seen the devils exiting from inside the caldera. So now we begin our entrance into the Well of Dragons. Now we're on an actual map. Okay. So I should probably wait till Katie gets back, because there's going to be useful information here.
That's fair. We're not freaking out. You're freaking out.
Totally. Everything's fine. I don't know what you guys are worried about.
We're fine. It's all fine. How are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're all fine here. How are you? All right. So Katie's back. Now I can tell you about what you're going to be fighting in this hallway.
We had advantage because I definitely rolled a 1 on the first. I was like, no, we cannot start this way.
So you guys have made your way to a lava tube here. And I will give you some generic features kind of the Well of Dragons, and I'll denote the differences where needed. So these are roughly 15 to 25 feet in diameter, these tubes. Large enough that a dragon could easily move in and out of these things if they so chose. They are all dimly lit by lamps or torches hung on the walls in wide intervals. You can all see in the dark, so it's not really a huge issue, but if color comes into play, there's some light. And again, the Drakhorn constantly sounding. At the entrance here, sounds of combat still very prevalent. You can still hear the fighting on the outside. As you go deeper into the volcano, when you're underground before you kind of get to the center and it's exposed to the air, you will not be able to hear what's going on outside as you're making your way through basically thick stone here. So, you have made your way into this entrance.
As we go in, real quick,
Mhm.
I just want to remind you that I have a very special sight, and keep that in
I am well aware.
Okay, good.
Thank you for reminding me, though.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate it.
Devil sight? Any chance? I don't know.
You don't know.
Ted knows. You know.
I know. Leo doesn't.
Poor Leo. Who has been staying as far away from Odella as close quarters can possibly allow. Which is not far.
That is a good point. Described to be kind of the marching order scenario here. They're 15 to 25 feet in diameter. You probably could all walk shoulder to shoulder, but I don't know how your makeup's going to be, so you tell me.
I'm happy to go in the front, but if somebody can scout ahead and be really quiet, then maybe they should walk a little bit further ahead of us.
That's not me. I'm not that good at stealth. I'm gonna be in the middle.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Rid.
I'll scout ahead. I think Rid reluctantly goes ahead because her instinct is to play buffer a bit between Odella and Leo, but like the best spot for her is not in between them. So
I'll use Roswin as a buffer.
Actually, the best spot for anyone is not between them. Like, it's rough.
The tension is palpable.
I'm gonna need you guys to change your energy before we go into battle. No,
your aura is all off right now.
Everybody take a crystal.
Yeah, right. Exactly. These are fully charged. These crystals. So take them for the positive energy. Keep them in your pockets. Absorb that positive energy.
I druid craft a smudge stick.
There you go. Yep. You might as well get rid of those evil spirits. Smudge it all out. Got your sage. Got your shell or whatever you put it in. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Anyway, so. Rid, you sneak.
Go after Rid, but obviously far enough back that I'm not like ruining any stealth.
So Rid, you are able to sneak up, and you do catch. You peek around the corner, and you can see that this path sort of has a curve to it, and kind of terminating at the end of what you can see here, it sort of branches off in 3 different directions. But before you get to that branch point, you can see 5 of the dragon wing cultists, which are like the higher up on the cultist chain. Not quite like the Wear of Purples, the people who are named, like have an actual name. This is just cultists like A, B, C, D, E. But they are each in a sort of a different color, marked by you got red, blue, green, black, white. There are 5 of them. There are 3 of the dragon claws, which are the ones that wear all black and sort of the frillied out mask that are sort of the generic cultists. And they are also accompanied by 2 of the guard drakes, the sort of larger, I guess they're actually medium-sized. I didn't know that. Medium-sized, basically like a dragon dog. You guys have encountered these before. Weird part, they have humanoid eyes and almost a strange sentience about them, but hey, that's a thing that they also have. So you see this, they don't see you.
I will duck back and go report to my friends as quietly as possible with like numbers and
Yeah, we'll say, I would imagine at this point, we'll say you've developed a code for the different types of cultists. So you all get this information with 0 chance of being exposed.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Caw-caw! Oops.
Shoot. Okay. And was there any other way to go, or they're just like standing in a singular tunnel, and that is all
They are basically ahead of the 3 branches. So to get to any one of the tunnels that branch off that continues on, you have to get through them. Seemingly by design.
So there's 2 of the dragon dog things, 5 of the dragon wings, and how many of the other guys?
3.
So 10 total.
Yes. Math.
Oof.
That's a lot to
punch
drop.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How big is the chamber?
Yeah, so again, you're just still in one of the tubes, so it's not like an open like chamber, it's just they're sort of in the path. So again, significantly wide, right? Like I said, a dragon could make its way out of here. So 15 to 25 feet in diameter, depending, and dragons are, depending on the type of dragon, are sort of not unlike cats, that they can sort of squeeze their way through places.
I mean, if we think we can get this done fast, I can cast silence in a 20 foot radius, so I could drop a silence.
I'm not sure. I can't remember if I can drop them with a fireball or not. I don't remember how powerful these people were.
Fireball is also going to be loud.
Yeah.
But if you drop silence, then
that's true.
I will be nice and let the bard know that silence is a ritual spell. You take 10 minutes and cast it, and it uses no spell slots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew that.
So you could do that.
Is that wrong? Oh, I can't do that?
I'm saying if you want to take 10 minutes, you don't have to worry about wasting a slot this early on.
Which would be neat.
And I think you can cast silence, I believe, on an object. I think, or I can't remember if it's an object or a location.
No. Sphere centered on a point you choose within range.
Yeah.
I believe it's a spat.
Yeah. I was gonna say if you can put it on an object, then you could bring.
But the range is 120 feet.
Yeah, no, you have plenty of room, and you could, Rid ducked up, found it back. If you get to a point where, it's a point that you see within range.
It says a point within range.
Okay.
If Fireball didn't take care of it, we could punch out the rest of them.
Yeah, and I'll say with Rid's tactical insight and awesome hand signals, you can get an idea of where they are to roughly position your spell without technically being in line of sight of them, risking, breaking your stealth.
I'm into it. Y'all want to try and do this real quiet?
Sure.
All right, sweet. Let's do it. Yep. So I'm gonna belly crawl.
Yep.
Forward. And look at your and focus and cast spell.
And I would like to effectively be ready to jump in and take care of any survivors that
immediately. Yeah.
The fireball not.
And I'll try to clean up with Moonbeam if Rid gets in there.
Okay.
So that we're not hurting.
Okay. So, are you casting it as a ritual, or are you just casting it?
Ritual.
Okay. So you guys all sit there and you wait for 10 minutes as Leo casts his spell. And it goes off. But it doesn't make any sound. So Leo stops concentrating, but then starts concentrating on the spell. And I guess there's an affirmation that now's the time, Odella, for your fireball.
Huzzah!
Okay. Oh, fireball.
Okay.
Yay!
Oh, I gotta make saves.
Big damage. Big damage.
Oh, that ain't good. Oh, that ain't good either. There's so much rolling needed in the next few weeks. These are going as groups. Okay.
Fair.
What is your DC?
18.
Okay. So, the Drakes and the tougher guys fail. The 3 little guys, they succeed.
Boo.
That's the best out of that arrangement.
Well, no, I mean, if she rolls high
That's
enough, it might not matter.
42 points.
Woo!
Oh, okay.
Ooh, baby.
So even
Yes.
with their success,
I forgot to mention I was casting at 4th level just in case anybody's like, that's not possible or something.
40, yeah, no, you still could do it, but it would have been like a really great roll.
Mhm.
Even with a 3rd level spell. So it's fine. Actually, even though they succeed on the save, the 3 little guys, they are burnt to a crisp in a silent explosion of fire. However, the red dragon wing survives as though resistant. This particular, you haven't seen this variant of dragon wing where they're all in colored livery. Starting to put 2 and 2 together though. This guy seems resistant. Still not looking great by any means. And even though they fail, the 2 drakes are still alive as well. So you're rushing in. So go ahead and who are you attacking?
I'm gonna go to the tough dude who seems like he's still standing.
Okay.
And just wallop.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's God, where is my? It's a 19 plus whatever I do on a hit, which is bonkers high. So.
That's fine. His AC is 14, so you're fine.
Yes, great.
So go ahead and roll your damage. Let's see if he survives the first swing.
Okay. Sure. D10. That is 18 damage.
Nope. Down goes this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 2 dogs.
Spin towards those dogs then and just kick them in the face. The first one was, because I just went ahead and rolled 2 at once, is 12 plus 13, so 25.
Yep.
Cool. That was not great. That was just 9.
Oh, he's still alive.
Okay, well, I get 1 extra.
Yeah, for free.
Bonus action, and so that is a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is plus 8 is 17 to hit.
So
17.
one of these dogs falls, the other one still alive.
I would like to can open the last dog.
Sure.
Yay! Well, will you let me, or does my silence count as my action?
I mean, it technically was your action. So.
Okay. Roswin, do you want to hit it?
Is it the last one?
It's the last
Bonk it.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
No spell slots, no key points.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do stand where
Nice.
I am and do my
One spell.
lightning thing.
Sure.
Like
Yeah. Make your attack.
Okay, that's gonna be plus. Holy shit! I have a plus 13 now, guys. It's been a while. 23 to hit.
Yep, that hits. He could still survive if you roll like garbage.
I didn't roll like garbage. I got a 12. A 6.
Yep, just dead.
Oh.
Yeah. So group 1, Slade.
Can I ask
Rid
if I
jogs
was
back
within-
over to give a silent high five to Roswin, Leo, and Dodella.
Say that again.
Can I ask if I was within 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Every time Laura says something,
Do
I get
something.
just
I know.
the little
Yeah.
butterflies in my tummy, like the weird ones.
Yeah,
I'm
the not
definitely
good kind.
the
Yeah.
not good butterflies in your tummy.
The
Yeah.
nega butterflies.
Yeah.
This is like public speaking butterflies in front of people that you really, really cherish their opinion and you don't really know what the topic you're talking about. Those kind of butterflies. Anyway, what would you like to do, Laura?
So I'm gonna do that thing that I can do on my reactions.
Yeah. No, I'm well aware. I don't know if this actually has any noticeable. Let's find out. No big deal. Everything's fine. Oh no, verbal, somatic, and material. Great.
Mhm.
So the material we don't have to worry about. But the well, technically the material is a cage, which is a literal cage.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which has been on my belt, quite visible for this entire time.
Yep. So you guys watch as Odella does some gestures, kind of touching or holding this tiny silver cage that is like part of her belt, and says some things in a language that could possibly be considered a language by some, eerily reminiscent of what happened in the hedge maze. Yeah, that happens. And that's, I guess you wouldn't actually notice. So, yeah, okay, you did the thing.
And I'm going to query it, which is telepathic.
Yep. What would you like to ask?
I would like to ask it if the ritual has started to raise Tiamat.
Good question.
Leo, upon hearing this voice, will reflexively drink one of his 12 potions of my healing. I don't even care. And he does it real obviously, and he looks at Odella and he takes something out of his bag and he chugs it and like smashes it in the shatter zone.
No silence or shatter. It just like it sort of mutes the
I don't want to ruin the stealth.
The punchline of it. Now there's glass caltrops on the ground.
It would make a great GIF.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, the answer, I believe it has to be true. It must answer you truthfully. Yeah. Yes. The answer is yes.
I just look at them and they're in the silence, so I can't tell them anything.
That's one use.
Yeah, I know.
5 more.
I got it. Little notes here.
Okay. This is Celeste. That's the face of Celeste looking up spells on T&T Beyond right there. I'm just kidding. Oh, this.
I wouldn't even know where to start with that shit.
It's fine. I'm just messing with you. It's all good.
Me silently wondering with my mega butterflies.
Yep. All right. So you have 3 branches. Which way would you like to go? I guess I guess I should say it's 2, and then when you look down the 1, you can see it branches. If that makes sense. So it's a fork, and then one of them has another fork. But, like, it's close enough that you can see it just by looking down it.
I guess I'll query it again. I'll ask which way do we go to get to the ritual side. To get to the ritual.
Has to answer truthfully. That is a good question.
So suspect.
It tells you in a snarky tone.
Oh, God.
Take your pick. They all lead where you want to go.
Not helpful.
Never said it had to be helpful, just had to be truthful.
Yep. Okay.
That's 2.
Rid can scout ahead again if need be. Just depends on which direction.
Yep. So basically, we'll say you've got left and right. We'll make it easy, right? Left and right, and then you can see the left path branches again.
I mean, right is right.
Right is right and seems easier. It doesn't branch again.
Yep. Let's check
So-
out right.
Sure you're
Okay,
trying to
riddle.
check out for traps and stuff like that, because we don't really know what's ahead for us.
Fair, yeah. Rid will cautiously sneak through the hall,
Okay.
prepared for any traps she might encounter.
Okay, so you're making your way down this
Ow.
hall. Make me, I guess an investigation check.
That was a 7.
Okay. You're good. You're golden here. No one can hear you. There's no way anyone would have the audacity to put traps in this hallway. That's,
Oh, great.
seems silly when you think about
There are
it.
so many dragons walking around here.
Why would you need traps, right? So you make your way down this hallway. You make it about let me ask you this. How far ahead would you go before you decide it's time to go back?
That is a good question. Because of how quickly she can move,
Yeah.
pretty far, I'd
Okay.
say.
Okay, so I'll say
She's like prowling. It's cautious, but still pretty stinking fast.
okay. So you go down this hallway about 120 feet ahead of your friends, and you can see that at this point now that you're this far down, you can see it continues on ahead, and it does branch to your right now.
Like another fork.
No, like this isn't like the path
it
continues on, and it's just
veers.
a whole nother like a L junction, right? You can go straight or you can go
Gotcha.
off to the side. And you can see that it's just at the edge of your dark vision. It looks like the path to your right opens up into like a larger space, but it's just at the edge of your dark vision, and it continues straight ahead past your dark vision's range. Actually, I guess there is light, right? I said there was light. So it seems like it continues and opens up on kind of either direction. So
Okay, interesting.
Mhm. It is
Uh,
interesting, I think.
I mean, can I make my way up to the
Yeah.
L and
Yeah, which
look
so
both ways before?
yeah, so you can go to we'll say you go to the right first, and this opens up into a massive chamber. We're talking, I can't actually count this because the squares are so freaking tiny. 20, 40, 60, 80, 120.
I mean, that sounds like a good start if we're
So,
looking for the well.
like 300 feet long by maybe 150 feet wide, and it is mountains of gold and treasure and jewels, silver-plated gilded mirrors, jeweled sword, the armor of kings, casket, boxes, barrels, filled overflowing with treasure. This cave is like the size of cathedral, stacked almost to the ceiling with just treasure. And you can see there are some pathways that are sort of leading through different areas here. And I will quote this because I think it's beautiful. A glittering mass whose reflected light dazzles your eyes like a million twinkling stars close enough to touch.
That is beautiful. I have chills.
Mm.
I think Rid nods in appreciation at this stunning sight.
You can see that there. You can make me a perception check when you, because there's just it's hard to take in. There's so much going on here.
That is a 10.
It is just. It's like the night sky here right in front of you, just with tangible treasure that you could take if you really wanted. And like there are mounds of this. There could be who knows what contained within this. You can see that it does seem like there is a path that leads out, but it's on the far side of this room. Your adventurer instinct would say there's probably guards somewhere amongst the treasure. You don't see them at the moment, though.
Okay. I would like to duck back and check the other direction, the other opening.
Okay, so this almost leads back almost out to open air. So this is sort of almost like the base sort of the caldera itself. And you can see that this area is blanketed with hundreds of thousands of dragon bones everywhere. Like some sort of mass dragon graveyard. Like an elephant graveyard, but for dragons. So you can see they've sort of been pushed back to the sides to sort of make an open plaza that seems to connect all of the other, you can see other tunnels as you look out coming to this. So this is sort of like a central hub where you can go through any of the other tunnels. This space extends 250 feet from east to west and 100 feet north. And then you can see to the southern, kind of the south, what is this? The southeastern section here, you can see that it leads to there's a tunnel, a lava tube that seems as though it leads into what you can see just from the structure into the temple itself. And you can see that basically guarding each of the exits in this sort of central area here. Let's see. And kind of on the one that's nearby you, but you're pretty stealthy, and they...
yeah, I'm sneaking.
They don't
Prowling.
see you. Each entrance is guarded by 4 guard drakes, the dragon dogs, and 2 devils that are just covered in barbs. So the one in front of you, and then each other one of these entrances, and you can see there is 1, 2. There are 3 other sort of pathways that are exiting out into this central plaza. 2 others, and then one that's kind of leading into the temple. Or leading from the temple, rather. All guarded by these creatures.
Then I am going to duck back, catch up with the party, and say, to the right, there's lots of money, and to the left, there's lots of bones.
I love it. Let's keep it going.
And try and explain, draw a little map of where the guards are. This is the dragon dogs, which I did before too.
Okay. It's consistent.
And then
guys.
this is the devils. And then spiky devils.
I love it. Great.
I'm a bard, so I think I'm pretty good at charades.
I'm sure. I'll say you can extrapolate the
it.
meaning of this.
I get you. Okay. Shit, what should we do?
Temple, right?
Yeah, I guess. That the big way, but there's gonna be a lot of
And that area is kind of out open to the outside as well, like open air.
Got it.
Yes. Thank you, Renee. Beautiful.
How just thinking of things, Celeste, I don't know if you want to summon your steed while we're not under attack, if that's something you're going to want to use.
Yeah, I guess probably once we get in there, drawing attention will happen inevitably, so I might as well have a giant white winged lion, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
We all feeling...
Guess we're not trying to sneak anymore.
I mean... if we're going straight to the temple, we're not really going to have time to summon it any other time to summon it. Unless we want to go a different way. And if we want to go a different way, then which way do we want to go?
Okay. So you guys are going to just chill here in this tunnel for another 10 minutes while Leo summons a lion? Is that the plan?
I mean, if we're going to sit around for 10 minutes.
Well, I'm asking. You tell me.
Well, I mean, if we're going inside a temple, having a flying lion probably won't be the most advantageous, or maybe.
But we're gonna have to fight in an open air room before we get to the temple.
That is true.
I mean, you feel it's up to you. I will obviously start making some rolls to see if a wandering group happens to make their way through your area. You got a 10-minute casting of silence for freeze, so we'll see what happens. Oh, but Leo gets a trinket. Hang on. Stand by.
Help me decide, trinket. Do I get a magic 8-ball? Will it tell me what to do?
That may actually be for one of the classes a thing.
Oh my god, that's so barred.
Wait, did we say we were gonna have to fly there?
No,
No.
there's an open air room before we get to the
Yeah, so again, the whole caldera, right? So it's like a volcano where the top caved out and caved in. You're leaving into the lava tube into the open area where once was the volcano.
Right.
You came out, you can see there are 2 other pathways that sort of mimic your kind of path that you're coming out of, and one other one that's open into this area is leading into the temple. Thank you for the subscription.
Thanks,
Love
Muffin
those.
Wow, muffin!
Muffin! You're the best.
Let's Celeste, roll me a percentile.
Okay. That's good.
Yay.
94.
Okay. All right. You find the head of a doll.
What the fuck? Why is the doll thing happening?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Here's the thing, though, about
Oh,
this
no.
doll head, Celeste. When a lie is spoken within earshot of this doll's head, there's a chance the broken doll's head's nose will grow. There's a chance. Are you okay?
Sorry, that's disgusting and terrifying and sort of relevant. I don't know. Fate is weird. Oh god. Okay, put that. I don't know.
Yeah, basically, Pinocchio's head.
Yeah. I glare at Odella because I think she slipped it in my pocket because I don't know how.
Now.
I don't know how evil magic works.
Oh, poor Leo. Poor naive Leo.
No,
You get the
multiply.
feeling as you look at this carved wooden puppet head that had things gone different, maybe, just maybe, he could have been a real boy. Not anymore.
That's so sad. Why are you doing this to me?
Because this is the end. Things are
Okay.
escalating. Everything is important, even
Well-
trinkets.
Well, now I feel scared and alone, so I'm definitely gonna summon Orion, the lion.
Okay.
I'm glad that the creepy doll head did help you make a decision.
Oh yeah.
it did help you make a decision.
Oh yeah, it totally did. God. Now I feel like life is too short and I want to surround myself with people I love, including Orion.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
gonna
just
make.
laughed into my wine and it splashed in my eyes.
No!
No.
That is very so Katie. Like I don't know. Like I've known Katie for a while, and I feel like that. If you had to describe Katie in like a 1-sentence structure, I laughed so hard into my wine it got in my eye. I feel like that's pretty good.
No, pretty on brand.
Yeah, right. I think so.
Thank you for knowing me to my core.
All right. So I'm gonna make a percentile roll, and we will see if a wandering troop of something related to the Cult of the Dragon happens to make their way down your tunnel, or hears the somatic components of or the verbal components rather, of Fine Greater Steed. I should set this beforehand. I feel like 69 is a good number because it's related to Leo. So here's the question.
Woo!
I will give you the choice, Celeste.
Okay.
Do you want which one do you want to be the good one? And I mean, clearly there's a better option, right? 1 to 69 is you don't get caught, and 69 and above, or 70 and above is you do. Yeah? All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
97.
Fuck.
So you get caught.
Oh, wait. Aw. I thought it was the other way. That's cool.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, is that... We'll roll it again. So you want... For you to not get caught is 70 to 100?
Oh, I thought that made more sense because we're in like the worst situation ever.
I'm giving you the option.
Oh,
which one do you want? The theoretical thought would be...
above it. I want it to be harder.
Harder...
And Leo's like, you have to defend me. I'm going to do this.
Harder than 69.
So I was going to say... So if you choose 1 to 69, if I roll 1 to 69, you don't get caught. Or if I roll 7.
We want 70 to 100 for realism.
Okay.
Realism.
Yes.
All right.
That's what I would set as a DM. Do it.
91. You are fine.
Wow. Oh, the power of lawful good and responsibility wins.
I was going to say the
every
power of 69,
day.
but that's cool.
Hey, 69 is difficult to maneuver successfully, and that should be represented in your dice rolls.
It was... You know what? That couple that you interrupted, they had it going, but you just ruined the whole moment for them.
I apologized, and
I know you did.
got it.
I know you did. But like for a moment,
They were in the rhythm. I know.
they had it. They clicked, those two.
On my long list of things for Leo to feel bad about, that's somewhere on it.
Fair. All right. Orion is summoned. Apparently, no one is the wiser.
I touch his nose, his beautiful pink nose.
You do.
I just wanted everybody to know.
I don't have a great response for that, so that's what you do. What's the plan?
Velvety soft.
And then I climb on his back, and
There's more than enough room for that here, so.
I'll lift a hand up to Roswin to get on the back of my lion.
Roswin.
Okay. I get
Hell
on
yeah.
the lion.
Okay.
Very soft, and it makes me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
I
you know.
also touch his nose.
You also do that.
His soft pink rose petal nose.
Oh, bless
So
him.
you know that at the end of this hallway, if you go to the right, there's a mound of treasure beyond the likes of which you have ever seen. With God knows what contained within it. Maybe whatever you want. I don't know. The book basically says it's my call. Or at the end of this hallway is the open air caldera, blocked currently by 2 barbed devils and 4 guard drakes. And you know that out in the open are another 6 guard drakes and another 12 guard drakes and 6 barbed devils that will likely hear and see the combat.
How far away is the other side that we need to get to? Oh wait, summon your giant steed. Never mind.
It is...
We are not sneaking.
No, I was gonna dimension door over there.
I mean, if you want to get over there to diversify our... But that's also like a 4th level spell.
It is at least 100 feet of open ground. In the middle of this caldera, you gotta cross to get to the southern end of the temple.
Do we want to book it and see?
Wait, it's only 100 feet?
That's what I said.
Okay, everybody get in the hole, including your giant lion.
What?
You've got 10 minutes of air. I'll dimension door over there. It'll be fine.
I feel like there's this moment of all of us just looking at each other.
Is that real? Is
Yeah,
that a
I
real
mean,
thing?
a bag of holding and a portable hole each have 10 minutes of air within them. Dimension door takes 6 seconds to cast. There's nothing stating you can't all go inside the portable hole. The only off factor is if when Odella ends her teleport, they don't kill her first and you all suffocate and die in the hole. Nega butterflies.
I don't.
I mean, on a base level, I love this plan. I think it's great. I think it's creative use of what you have. So I'm a big fan of applauding that. It wouldn't be the first time I've had a party jump a whole bunch of people by popping out of a bag of holding. One time it was a dress. That was something else, but the dress of holding.
But could you imagine like a whole circus comes?
Leo, do you still have your cape?
I do.
If you even answer me.
Did you use it today?
No.
I couldn't remember if you guys used it.
Nope.
In your Odella craziness.
Nope.
Because you could do it if you feel more comfortable. If you guys don't trust me.
Yeah, maybe I'll go with my cape and just make sure that everything's, so you don't get hit by arrows or anything. Leo is not getting in a fucking bag of holding that Odella is holding, basically. He'll send Orion in the bag because Orion can't technically die.
Yeah, he can suffocate because of the mechanics of the game, but he can't die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll teleport over and watch your back.
So who's going in the portable hole, if anyone, now?
I guess, yeah, we are.
And Orion.
I applaud creativity. I will get in.
I'm like
And
hoping we
then
can come in behind the other
Odella.
people. Behind the other guards, so no one even noticed that we're there.
Right. Yeah, so I'm going to take the bag of holding and expend the use on my cloak to Dimension Door and get us over there. So that way Odella doesn't have to cast any spells and we're all cool.
So Odella's going in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Odella,
Got it.
Roswin, and Orion.
Got it. Okay. We're all good with this plan?
None of us, nobody in our group has anything that can't go in the hole, right? We don't have any other like bags.
What can't go in the hole?
Other extra dimensional things like a bag of holding.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't recall, so I'm gonna say no.
We just put everything in the hole.
Yeah.
Let's just throw it in there, yeah.
Who needs individual pocket dimensions? We have one big pocket for all our stuff.
Including yourself.
All
Okay,
right.
so you all go into the bag of holding. Leo, you Dimension Door over behind the Barbed Devils.
Hell
All
yeah,
right.
man.
Let's see. And I would like you to roll for initiative, good sir.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it. Woo! Well, I have 500 feet. I want to get up in the doorway of this temple. Like, yeah. All right.
I mean, from your current vantage point, all you can really see is the tube and the people in front of it. You can see a little bit behind it. Now, Dimension Door, you don't technically need to see where you're going. You just point in a direction, but that's kind of up to you.
Yeah, I want to get as close as I'm using. I don't want to teleport inside a wall. I'm using my best judgment.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay, I got an 18.
All right, the Devils got a 20.
Cool.
So, and the Drakes got a 1, so they're going last.
I'm glad Odella isn't out here to take these punches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm super good at. Let's go. Taking punches, Leo. That's my class.
Okay.
Punch.
Would I've been fine. I'm just kidding.
Let's count the damage, Odella. We'll figure it out. All right, so 1 tail attack, 2 claw attacks. All right, tail attack. That's an 11, so that's gonna miss. Claw attack. That's a natural 20. Claw attack. That's a 17, so the 17 will miss. So this guy is gonna deal to you, Leo, only 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Then the second guy is gonna go 21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that hits. 22 hits, and a 25 hits, so 3 hits.
Okay.
So that is gonna be 2. Okay, that's it. 8 and 8 is 16. 25 points of piercing damage. And that is their turn. Your turn.
Oh, that's all. Oh, cool. So where I'm looking, so I'm looking around me right now. Do I see the door?
So, you can see that. You can see that this kind of lava tube leads up to. There's no real door. It sort of leads, kind of curves upward into this sort of temple.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be guarded or anything. Doesn't actually tell me. So let's say, well, I guess that's supposed to be it. That's a poor design on this map. We'll call it 80 feet.
Okay.
Like it curves, and then like where it kind of opens up into what you assume to be the temple proper is 80 feet away.
Okay, and I'm looking at like 12 barbed devils and a bunch of crap in front of me.
Well, right now you only have these guys on you because the other ones were guarding the other exits.
Got it.
Out into the central area. So currently, no. Just
Okay.
these guys.
Sweet. I think I'm gonna burn some of my lightning pick and just get all the rest of the way up in that business so I get some cover. Before and then unleash people. Cool. So I'm gonna strike my lightning and ride it
all the way up out into the temple.
Hell yeah, man.
Okay.
Bye.
Let me just look up a portable hole real quick. Let's see. I think it's a bonus action to get stuff out of it, but we'll see. Or there might not even be an action. Oh, you could use an action to unfold a portable hole and place it against a solid surface, whereupon the hole creates an extra dimensional space. You need an action to close it. When a creature within the hole's extra dimensional space, if the hole is folded up, a creature within the extra dimensional space can make an action check to try to force their way out of the hole. Yeah. So those are the options. You can use an action to open it, or they can use their action on their turn to try to break out. You're muted, Celeste.
Muted.
If I'm understanding this right, the closest thing to me now is 80 feet away from me, and those were just the little Drake guys?
Oh, no. You teleported into the temple. Now
Oh,
I need to tell you what happens in the temple. I'm just telling you that was your action to use the pick.
Cool.
You could use action surge to use an action to open it up if you want.
Well, can I see what's in the temple before
yes.
I make this decision?
This is like poetry, folks. It could not have gone better. So let me paint to you a picture of this temple, because it's pretty badass. So without giving away too much, you can see this right here. This is the temple. This is what it looks like here on the screen. So see how it's kind of jagged in 5 sort of areas here? You guys came in down here. Not that that really matters. So once your eyes adjust to the stunning chaos of Tiamat's temple, you see the interior is a single cathedral-like space that towers far overhead. 5 distinct vaults branch off the central gallery. Though the overwhelming color of the place is lifeless ashen gray, each of the side vaults shimmers dimly blue, green, red, white, or black, the hues of the evil dragons and their world-consuming queen. Red wizards stand in each of the 5 vaults, chanting and channeling magical force into a central asp. There, a kaleidoscopic whirl of arcane energy rises above the blackened floor, stretching up into the twisting recesses of the temple's central spire. A lot of words there. So you guys are currently in the black sort of area here, and you can see it basically, if we go in a clockwise fashion here, you guys are here. This is red. This is not labeled. This is white. This is green. So I guess this one's got to be blue. Yes, if we follow that logic.
Yeah.
So you guys can see currently where you are. There is currently a red wizard amidst a ritual. Oh, it is blue. It just says it in a weird way. So you can see each one of these 5 areas has a red wizard that is currently chanting. As you look up, you can see that you guys are sort of in like what they're calling the chapel. And you can see in the center, which is it sort of spires upward. So you guys are at the bottom lower chapel. In the center of it is basically what they call the Great Asp, which is sort of whereas the portal is currently floating above, kind of on the same level as this asp where the portal is. At sort of the pinnacle of each of these spires where you are another colored spire that matches each one. You can see in each of those is a flying red wizard still casting the ritual. So keeping track, we're currently at 10 red wizards here in this area. And you can see that in the red area, the one across from you, is a seemingly more prominent, more dangerous looking red wizard. You've never seen him before, Leo. And way up at the top, above the Great Asp, even higher up, levitating, you can see someone who has donned a mask with 5 separate dragon heads upon it, levitating and also chanting as though a ritual is commencing. So let me just see something here. Just want to check on one thing, because this is important for you guys. Okay. Okay, you guys come in and you see that at the base of this area here, where this is all happening, kind of in the central area, which is the least asp. You've got the Great Asp above, and then this is the least one. You can see just like a base level cultist, just like slit the throat on the last of a civilian, and you can see sort of in the middle are just, you can see the sort of trails of blood leading out sort of the opposite direction of you, where seemingly bodies were dragged. As this last throat is cut, you can see there are probably 100 dead bodies here on the ground as this person kills seemingly the last prisoner.
Come on.
But it's your you still have your bonus action and your movement. Leo, you teleport into this area. What would you like to do?
Okay, so they've already slit the throat, and that's what that is. There's
you
plot
don't
armor,
see
we're screwed.
You don't see any more prisoners here.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I should probably get you all out of the bag, huh?
Maybe?
Nice. Okay. All right. Way to burn an action surge. I will do that. So as I'm standing there, like drop the bag on the ground, get everybody out of the bag.
All right. So the portable hole opens on the ground. At this point, I would like you all we'll
hang
roll.
on. I want
okay.
everybody to drop out of my bag, and I want to get out my dad's loot and strike a sick power chord and be like, "Sup, bitches."
And I guess that's where we end this episode for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
We all
God.
pose. Belladonna's pose. Magical girl.
Yeah.
What is,
Yeah.
what is the Sailor Moon? The Sailor Moon one's this one.
Up there like that.
We all hop out of the bag to this epic chord.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
planned
We know
it.
what to do.
Well, I will say for that, even though you guys are technically 10 feet down in a hole, but that's fine. I'll let you guys pop out at this
Thank
level.
you
Yes,
for
please. They were ready.
Well, it would have been more interesting to see like Roswin and Odella have to find a way to get out of this hole.
There's a big flying lion. I'm sure Orion could have helped them pop out.
Yeah.
Orion is there with his wings and his paws also posing.
Sure.
I just think of
Wow.
Hercules, Pegasus, when he like takes his wings up and goes
Yeah.
like this with them.
So, next time we will have to roll for initiative as you guys are in quite literally the
Ow.
final fight as the ritual is under completion.
That
being-
happened a lot faster than I thought.
I know.
Well, it's been happening for a while.
No, like
No,
I
we
thought it would
got
take
there.
forever to get to this final fight, and we were just kind of like, we make her right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys took your way. You took the fastest way. I mean, had you gone through and fought in the open area, Dragon was going to come down and also attack you while you guys were in the courtyard. So you would have fought the devils, the guard dogs, and then also a dragon.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, would have, but you didn't.
At
But
least
now-
we're fresh for this shit.
Yeah. So
Power
that's
cord.
the
Yeah,
thing.
So glad I thought of the
That was
portable
clutch.
hole.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Ted. How far across is this room again?
the room that you're in here. Oh, I have to count. It's pretty wide. So I don't know if you can see the tiny little squares. See those?
Yeah.
Each one of those is 10 feet.
I just need to know for magic reasons.
Yeah, I'll get you the specifics.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Zoned out, Bane. You were helping us the whole time, and then you chant TPK? Savage.
yeah. There were some things kind of going on behind the scenes, in a couple of scenarios where like the Belladonnas went to go do Belladonna things and like had other things happen in a different order. Things may have been slightly different at this point. I only killed this last prisoner in front of you, Celeste, for dramatic effect. It really had already happened, but I was giving you the cool factor of this happening here. Also, for Odella, now there's 100 dead bodies in case you want to use them for things.
Sick.
I did want to ask you about that, but I will send you a message.
Okay.
I bet you do. I bet you want to.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's it. Thank you guys. Again, if you missed out or forgot, we had cut back the time a little bit since we're now weekly. We can do shorter episodes. And I promise the previous episodes are going to come out on Nerd Immersion Plays. Celeste has wrote some amazing recaps, and I just need to, or she needs to, or we need to just go through the effort of just recording those short videos to give you that information. And it's the same thing with Everin. Like, I'm way behind on that. We're like 5 episodes behind on uploading because I need to recap 50 episodes worth of content in the half an hour total recorded time. So it's just a lot. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's go around the horn and say who we are to all the people. Celeste, I'll start with you.
Hi everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich. I love D&D and RPGs. You can find me all over the internet. The best place to compile all this information I'm about to tell you is to follow me on Twitter at @ckonowich. But if you want to check out more of my stuff, I run a show here on Nerd Immersion. It's called Mistress of Modules. We play on Sundays. Soon it'll be just normal alternating Sundays, so it'll be less crazy to follow. I haven't told Ted that yet, but every other Sunday you'll be able to find Mistress of Modules. So we're going to be back this week. We're going to be playing through Labyrinth of Thorns from Ashley Warren. It's a super cool, fun. It's like a Valentine's Day weird Italian themed adventure. It's super cool. So check that out. We're going to be playing with, like Ted mentioned, Initiative Coffee Co. are going to be there representing. So that'll be really cool. So check that out Sunday. Follow us at Mistress of Mods on Twitter. I'm also the DM for Venture Maidens, which is an actual play D&D podcast, which Katie will tell you about when Katie gets to her turn. Also, Katie makes cool pins, and I'm wearing it, and it's awesome. But Katie will also tell you about that. And I'm also the host for Wizards of the Coast show, D&D Community, which is a monthly talk show that's coming up this Friday. So tune in, watch me drink tea, and talk about cool stuff. Also the host for Gymnastics, which is a podcast, and that's it. And I wrote a book. It's called Blitz. I'm dead. Follow me on Twitter at Seekonowich. I'm done. Goodbye.
I feel like we heard she was done a few times. But anyway, Katie, what's up?
Hi, I'm Katie. I play Roswin here every Monday night. I'm also on Venture Maidens playing another tiefling. This one's a Divine Soul Sorcerer. We are playing this Wednesday. It's going to be sick. We're also coming up on a big, huge thing. So we've got that going on. I now have a website, lazymermaiden.com, which tells you my streaming schedule, and it gives you links and examples of my commission work and stuff like that. And most recently, I opened an Etsy store. There's a link there to make these Raven Queen pins, which I'm really proud of. And they're super sick. And I take a lot of care.
They're beautiful. They're perfect.
Thank you. Into packaging each of them and getting them out to you guys as soon as possible. And the cool part about it is this is just kind of a side fun thing that I'm excited to do to get like a creative outlet. So all the money that comes in for those will go toward making my next D&D pin, which could be your favorite god or patron. So the more that you guys buy, the more I will be able to put out for you guys. And you can have your favorite soon. That's me.
All right. Laura, tell us about you when you're not doing questionable things with dead people, I guess, in this campaign. What else? What about you?
Never questionable.
I mean, I guess it really depends on who's looking at it.
Hey, I'm Laura. You can find me on Twitter at When in Rome. I'm not busy, so talk to me. It's fine.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Renee, you do a lot of things. Tell us about you.
I am Renee, and I do a lot of things. You can find me on Twitter at RayDNR. I've been working on a lot of cool stuff for work because I love my job. I work with a cool RPG called Weave, and I am writing a Weave playset for Camp Nano this month, so there's definitely a lot of updates about that. I also have a lot of other projects going that I update also regularly about on Twitter, so like Celeste, if you want to know more, you can definitely follow me there. I do Fate and the Fable Maidens, which is family-friendly actual play D&D podcast at Fate FM Cast across social media, and I'm in pre-production for Edenfall, which is an audio drama based off of a Cypher System RPG stream that ran last year and is finishing up in a few weeks, which is just bonkers wild. You can find that at Edenfall Cast across social media. And I do writing here and there. I do other podcasting projects here and there, and I will be around. Gen Con is the most soon thing, along with a number of other wonderful people here. So hope to see you soon. Definitely feel free to check out stuff and stuff that everyone else in this cast does, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week for some punches.
And I am Ted. This is Nerd Immersion. Things are getting crazy in this campaign. I promise, well, I guess unless they die, the campaign will go beyond what's contained in Rise of Tiamat. If they die and Tiamat's summoned, then that's it. That's game over. But if they do manage to defeat her or prevent her from being summoned in the first place, then I have things to go beyond this. I have a couple stories to take them past the end of this campaign, to kind of close the loop on some things that exist elsewhere in the world. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and link away. So I run this game here on Mondays. Next, tomorrow night will be my homebrew campaign of Everend. Just a heads up, things are a little in the air about Evil Game when it's coming back. Jake's going through a lot of personal stuff right now, so there's a lot of craziness. We've been kind of Skyping him in a weird, MacGyvered setup that I put together. So he may be there, but more than likely not. Wednesday, one of these days, I'm going to bring It Builds character back. Might even be this one. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. We'll see. Let's hope. And then I guess we also said that Gen Con is the thing in less than a month now at this point. And we are going to be there, all of us. All the 5 of us you see here will all be at Gen Con doing the thing. So will there be a game of this happening at Gen Con? I don't know. We'll find out. There might be. They might all be dead next week, so there might not be.
It's us in the spirit world.
Yeah.
Oh God, Odella's domain.
No.
Turns out this was what Odella's patron wanted the whole time.
No.
She's actually been working against you. Anyway.
I believe it.
But yeah, Gen Con should be a good time. If you're there, absolutely come say hi. I have a big old bag of these sweet Nerd Immersion D6s to give out to people, so come by and find me. I also have Nerd Immersion enamel pins. They'll go together. I can give those away to you guys. If you happen to have gaming products and you're going to be there at Gen Con, I do interviews with gaming people, so come find me. The emails have been really slow. I've gotten 3 thus far, and one of them was from Funko Pop. So what? I don't know. What do they need me to interview them for? They do a thing, and everybody knows what the thing is that they do. What coverage did they...
My text this week?
I did. I responded to your text.
No, I know, but is that in the 3?
No, that's actually 4. I'm counting you. You're a friend, so you're 4. That's right. A couple other were like some other gaming companies that were like, check out our game, and I was like, I don't know you, but I'll maybe. So yeah, there's been talks. There's going to be a live It Builds character that's definitely happening where I'm going to sit down with Jordan from Forgotten Realms Explains. We're going to build 2 characters from American Gods, both Shadow Moon and Mr. Wednesday. So if that interests you, we'll be streaming it, maybe just from my computer, maybe something bigger. We haven't really figured that out yet. And then also, there may possibly be a battle royale between some of the characters from this and some of the characters from Princess of the Apocalypse. That was the thing we talked about at D&D Live. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe.
I'll end them all.
So we'll see. Yeah. That is definitely a possibility. So good stuff coming from Gen Con. So be sure to come find us or keep an eye on the social medias because they'll be posting things. I may try to do more like IRL Twitch streaming as we're just like walking around doing stuff. I don't know. That's it though, guys. We're gonna jump off here. You guys have a great week. Trauma and drama a little bit minimized, just mostly trauma, less drama at this point. Although actually a healthy mix of both.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I'm traumatized that I didn't get to speak to the past Belladonnas.
I wanted to say hi to Mir.
I wanted to say hi to Lux.
That is, I should have.
Bunk buddy.
Yeah.
We can all go out for drinks when we kill Tiamat. It'll be great.
Yeah, I part of my reason was to not let you do that. Was to not let you bring up the question to be like, does Mir still have that luck blade with 1 wish left in it? Because I was like, we ain't dealing with that shit. Moving on.
I was waiting actually because how would you not ask that?
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I was like,
waiting for you to be like, to have her just be like, I have endless fish. Do you want to fish like something stupid?
I was gonna
be like, do you know what has happened?
I was going to make it some like dumb wish like that, but I was like, I didn't have time to put a lot of good thought into what it should be. Like that would have been a great answer. Anyway, thank you all so much. We love you. We'll see you next week.